a service of CNC Worldwide.
The Daily is a service of CNC News and Jib Jab Greetings. I'm Bud Lowell, your AccuWeather forecast right on top of your CNC local news pages.
We know there's going to be a lot of rain, and we know there are going to be very, very high winds, especially across upstate New York. We know there's going to be a problematic storm surge for the lower part of the state. But whatever it is going to be very serious. And again, it is nothing to be trifled with. So please treat it with respect.
Governor Andrew Cuomo speaking by the banks of the Hudson River near Albany about the steps he's taking to get ready for the approach of Hurricane Sandy, a 1,000-mile wide storm, and its impacts are going to be felt clear to Buffalo and beyond. The governor has mobilized the New York Army and Air National Guard in response to Hurricane Sandy. Soldiers and their equipment are available to respond to storm damage from New York City west. State Canal Corporation officials have lowered the canal by 12 to 18 feet due to the expected heavy rainfall. President Obama has declared a state of emergency for all of New York State. Flights to most East Coast points from Rochester's airport are canceled. Rochester City schools have canceled after-school events, although nobody in this area has canceled classes. Monroe County Executive Maggie Brooks has activated the Monroe County Emergency Operations Center to oversee preparation for and response to the approaching storm. All weather forecasts now agree the greatest impact of Hurricane Sandy and the approaching winter storm that's merging with it going to occur between Monday afternoon through late Tuesday. So Monroe County's Emergency Center will be operational 24 hours a day until further notice. The county has also begun notifying residents along the Lake Ontario shoreline through the 911 center about the potential for flooding. The National Weather Service is not currently predicting widespread flooding in Monroe County, but there may be flooding and damage to properties along the shoreline of Lake Ontario. Here's what things looked like along Edgemere Drive in Greece during the last nor'easter, and that's the direction these winds are going to be coming from. Of course, there's the potential for downed trees and power lines. Meteorologists warn this storm will bring winds from the northeast, which is an unusual direction. The county has asked residents to make sure drains and edge of streets are cleared of leaves to allow street drains to function properly. And residents should also remember not to approach any downed power lines, use 911 for emergency calls only, and check on the neighbors, especially the elderly, homebound, and persons with disabilities. And as we do expect trees to come down, that means power outages. Don't operate any gas-powered generator inside your home or garage. You could fill your house with carbon monoxide. Here's what we have from the National Weather Service, and this is pretty much for the Rochester area, the Finger Lakes, all of western New York, and the western parts of the southern tier. High wind warning from 2 o'clock Monday afternoon to 11 o'clock Tuesday morning. And this could be 30 to 40 mile per hour winds gusting up to 65. The strong winds combined with saturated ground will, of course, cause downed trees blocking roadways and taking out power lines. It's unusual to get winds this strong in this area from a northerly direction. Trees in this area are anchored against prevailing west winds, so strong winds from the north tend to produce more wind damage than normal for the wind speeds. We also have a small craft advisory out and flood watch for the Lake Ontario shoreline from Niagara County through Wayne and into Oswego County. The Weather Service says very high waves and rising water can be expected all along the south shore of the lake from Monday afternoon through early Tuesday morning. Flooding is likely in places like Braddock Bay, Irondequoit Bay, Sodus, Port Bay, and Little Sodus Bay. Also the ponds along Edgemere Drive in Greece. The National Weather Service is asking shoreline property owners to keep up to date on forecasts and take action to protect their property. Minor flooding is to be expected in low-lying and poor drainage areas south of the lakes. Rivers and creeks may flood around the Rochester area. Well, now on to what's usually our lead story on Mondays. Gasoline prices are now falling the fastest since 2008. We're no longer talking about the rising price of gasoline. Now it's how fast and how far are the prices going down. The statewide average is now well under $4 per gallon at $3.93, according to the American Automobile Association's fuel gauge report. For the greater Rochester area, the average price is just over $3.95, Last week it was over $4 a gallon. As usual, the lower prices are found on the west side of Rochester, with stations seen this week selling regular at $3.87 or even less, and a couple of very low-priced ones also over in Arundequoit. The area-wide average dropped by a penny over the weekend, by more than 8 cents over the last week, after being pretty much unchanged for all of the previous month. The AAA's analyst says the national price has dropped by 15 cents during October, the biggest price drop for gas since 2008. Back then, prices fell from the record high of $4.11 in July down to just $1.62 a gallon by the end of the year, that as the nation fell into the Great Recession. AAA expects gas prices to keep dropping through Election Day and beyond. Wholesale gasoline futures have dropped nearly 30 cents since the start of October, and retail prices are now beginning to reflect the drop. AAA expects that the national average is likely to be between $3.40 to $3.50 a gallon when Americans head to the polls in just over a week, and to be between $3.25 to $3.40 by Thanksgiving. To the left of this player window, you'll find links to these and other stories. At the bottom, links that you can use to post us news items directly. And in those, you can paste pictures. If you get any good shots of the storm or footage, send it right to us. We'll put it up here on your CNC News pages. Next news as it happens, updates when necessary. I'm Bud Lowell, CNC News.